Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson which we're going to do together. We're going to do this one together. I'll take you through it bit by bit. There'll be times when I forget to give you colours exactly, but you're going to have to do them up yourself. We're going to do a sky, we're going to do a foreground, and we're going to do a house. As simple as that. So let's make a go of it. We'll start. Now you can use a large brush for your large areas, and you can use a small brush, size 8, for your smaller areas. And I'll use as well a rough old brush, but you can use a size 8 for the parts which I'll show you now. This is where my mount is going to go up to. Probably the picture's inside that, you see what we're doing. So here we go. Now this paper is a Saunders paper, and it's size, but with it being a cotton paper, it is sized from the front to the back of the paper inside it. Now if you get one or two papers which are cheap, a lot cheaper really, a bit cheaper, they're made out of wood, crushed and made into a pulp and then pressed out. They do add size, but it doesn't penetrate into the paper, it stays on the outside. So you have to be careful when you're using that. You don't have to wet the paper, it's a bit runny and it would cause what they call cauliflowers. That's like runs in rings kind of thing. So all we're doing now, we'll just put this sky in first, then we'll put our 3 inches up, we'll put our foreground, and then we'll put our middle ground in on a large tree. Simple as that. So here we'll start with, now if we're going to put a blue in the sky and a couple of warm colours as well. Now if you're going to use an ultramarine blue for these patches of sky blue, you'll find that if it's ultramarine, you might find that they what they call granulate. You'll see like little tiny spots amongst the blue. But if you use some other colour, say you use a cobalt and you added a little bit of something like Payne's grey to it or anything other colour, even if you put ultramarine with it, you won't get the same amount of granulation. So look, I'll just start off. I've got a big pot of water, a very big pot of clean water. Well, it's not clean actually this, but you need a big pot. If you have 2 pots it's as well, because one is for your light colours, you wash your brush in, and the other for your dark colours. Now, I'm going to put in some, you may look, it's actually a brown cast, but it's a red as well. It's raw, it's sienna, but not raw, saying it's burnt, which is on a ready cast, but it will bleed out to almost nothing. That, see what, excuse me a second. Now we'll start, get a little bit of light red. Watch this, we'll put some light red in, watch this. You're watching, aren't you? See, this is your light red. Spread it out so it's not running, and have your board at 30 odd, say, degrees. Now there we are. And I wet it first, and then I'm not flooding it on now. So if I get some, say I get some ultramarine, now, or we'll start on it first for the sky. We won't have granulation, so we'll use cobalt blue. Now, and also in this cobalt blue, I'm going to add a little bit of raw sienna. Raw sienna is like yellow ochre, but yellow ochre is rather opaque. That means you can't see through it. Now this is the colour you'll get when you add your cobalt and your raw sienna together. So we'll just make like one there, on a big cloud there. Now I've got it rather warm in here, so I'll just wash my brush out, dry it off a bit, and just take the edges off of that cloud. You can see it's just starting to run. Now I've took the edges off, and now I'm going to bring a little bit of warmth in here. I'll use a little bit of raw sienna, which you see it's on the yellow bit, with this brush being blue in it. You see, it's just doing that to it, but you can just do this, see? Now I think it'll change with this colour in this sky when I start putting another colour in. Now, you don't need to use any gimmicks at all, and I don't advise any of my people, learners who come are in a group, to put the tape across, to wipe the sky out with bits of paper or anything like that. Learn how to do watercolours this way if you like. Now, as I've told you, don't put on a line across with a pencil or a tape. I don't want you to do that with my kind, because it's nicer if you don't. Would you believe it? It looks like it's done with a mechanical robot if you do what they tell you to do, these other painters. Now look, I'm getting some raw sienna now. I'm making a wash 3 inches up. Raw sienna and a little bit of burnt umber in it. Now you don't have it too strong, but look. Now you don't need to put a line across to do that. You can have it up there. See, you can have it up there if you want. A bit up there, alright? You might be cockeyed and not be able to do a straight line. It will be alright. Be alright, don't worry. Okay, so now get your smaller brush, which is an 8-inch, size 8, not an 8-inch. Be alright using an 8-inch if you like to try to use a sweeping brush, wouldn't it? Now get some burnt umber for a start, just for starters. And if you put some, I'll put some cobalt in it, because we don't want any granulation in this part, in your brown, your dark brown, your dirtiest brown you have. Put some cobalt into it, and we'll anywhere across, but not in the centre. So let it just cool down a little bit. It's a bit warm, that paper now. It might patch up a bit. So I've told you, just off centre, and we'll put a house. Now, don't have to be perfect. Don't be perfect with it. Oh look, you just put it like that. Just do that. I've left a piece there, all underneath. It's not right. So there we are. You've just done it like that, not bothered. Now you want a piece showing here of the side of the house, because you're just over this bit, or you can have it this side, the roof. Probably because of the slants different, it would be this side, but watch. We'll just get some raw sienna and we'll bring that here and down, see, on a slant down like that. Now this slant down is not quite as much because it's perspective you're doing. Okay, now get a bit of dark brown. Your dark brown, it can be Rhomba, pretty round. It can be Van Dyke brown. This, and just put another chimney here, but not as tall. Don't make it as high. And there you are. See, now we can still have a light coming from the right hand side, and you can just put a bit of dark there and there, but we'll see all that in a minute. So that's up to there. That can have a one coming up a bit there at back. Have you got everything there now, what I've told you? Now the next thing we're going to do is put another bit of foreground, a field here. Right, so we'll get some raw umber. It will go on its own if you like, raw umber on here. Raw umber, a bit of yellow, any kind of yellow you want, it's up to you. Card yellow will be okay. Put a little bit of blue in there if you want. A bit of cobalt blue or a bit of Windsor blue. Now this is a touch of Windsor, this, only a touch. So I'll just put a little touch of Windsor into it. And I'm just going to come across here where we put that line. And I'm going to put another line here. Now, if you'd have put a strip on your in it, you never see perfectly straight. You never see perfectly straight, you know, fields. See, you could even do that, Luke. Oh, come across it, it's better for me over here. Do that. And how is that? It's all shapes. Now just dip your brush in it and put some water on your brush, and then you'll have a shadow like this for the clouds there. Now there's your shadow. Now if you have any shadows coming from this side, because you've got that white there, these shadows would be darker afterwards. Now that enables us here now, you can put a few trees down here and a few trees down there, or what you can do, I'll show you, you can mix up what I'll do, I'll mix up some blue for different trees. We'll sort that out. That was a bit more slant on it, I know, don't tell me. With things like that there now, we can leave, or you will put some little bits of trees down here, bushes, and we can also work a little bit of a path, either that way or that way, just by using some clean water and going like that on top in a minute. So we'll leave it at that for now. Now I can either have a decent field, which will be very easy, so I think we'll do that, so you'll have it easier. we'll put a distant field in, as far away as we can. So ultramarine, or no, I think we'll have cobalt, sorry, and a little bit of alizarin. No, not too heavy. Just a little bit of alizarin. And let's see, what would we do? We'd have it as a, well, we can have it as trees, or just this, that. You can either just do that with it, or you can put trees in. Both ways it'll look nice. Now, if you left it like that, that would be a sea. You put can you see you've done a sea? If you made that dark now, and you put some distant mountains over there, you'd be on the edge of the sea, wouldn't you? So you've got another idea in your pan. Aye. See, you just put a little bit of brown there. You've got a lovely view of an open sea. But no, we've not done that, have we? So we'll have to just do that. Just take it, you know, make it into a distant hills instead. No, we're all fixed up there now. Now, you've gone a good way with me there, so I'm thinking you might be okay up to there, are you? Yes, okay. Now, large trees we want coming a bit nearer to us. So we'll run it on this, we'll have the tree line just in front of the back fur line of the field. Got me? That's it. Now we'll put what I can do for you, I'll show you. Oh gosh, yeah. I'll have to have a... This is better. First of all, we'll have a distant line in. Now, it's this distance line, it's brown again, and we'll use a little bit of ultramarine because we've got plenty of it. And we're getting down on other colours. Little bit of your brown, burnt umber, and a little bit of your ultramarine to darken it down to a rather neutral colour. So, and this is that line. Okay. Now, come back from here. Now there's that line far away in your distance. Got it? Now here it is again, this distance line. Everything looks smaller and lighter as you go farther away. And often you get, yeah, I'll have to make that into clump, you see. And that's alright. A little bit of raw umber get you almost the same colour, you see. Now our next tree line, see that wants a bit of darker. Our next tree line is here. because we're going to bring it nearer to us. So here we go again. We'll take some raw umber. I'm telling you too much here, aren't I? Hey? A little touch darker. Now this is the other tree line. We'll dry that. So you see, you didn't need to put a line in there, you'd have spoiled it. Now the next tree line is from here. Now we won't have big trees here, but we'll have one here, about there. Now let's drop just a second. Right. Now don't bother about what's happened. Feel good in yourself and relax. Be relaxed doing it. Don't tighten up, be relaxed. See, I could just put some blue there and that'd be a lovely little, you know, pond. Lovely little pond there. I will not bother with that though. We'll just do this. Now I'm just going to get some Van Dyke now and just touch it there. Now what's happening is that this is going to be going darker a little bit, you see. And some of these patches, Mr. Weston uses black. I know you doubters who say he doesn't. Let's not overdo it. Let's give it some place to breathe. But it's the other one we want in there too. We'll let that be a little pond. We're creating things again, aren't we? Okay, so now we can make this another tree line. Here, watch. This is a little bit of Van Dyke. Now, put a bit of there as well. You can darken with Van Dyke, a bit like that. Even over there if you want. I'll not do that, no. So I'm getting too complicated here. Let's go away from that. Okay, so now we'll put that big tree in there and a decent one here. Here we go. So we'll get some yellow. Have yellow. Get some Windsor blue and put it in it and it'll go into a mad green. Get some burnt umber, burnt brown and put it in it on this will go to another colour, which is like a dirty greeny yellow colour. So we'll mix some more of that. We're not enough there. We'll mix some more. And I say cad yellow, Windsor, burnt umber, and you get a dirty brown colour. Now I'm going to, we'll put in it here. Now I'm just going down it a bit here. Just put it over a bit. Now on the other side, that's your brown, your blue, your yellow. We'll put it, where do you reckon? About here, small one. This is at the back. So there we are. Looks a bit odd though there, doesn't it? So there we are. Let's get some really dark. Now, that's it. You can go really high with that tree if you wanted, because it's really near to you. Anyway, I'll take it a bit higher. I'm mixing you all up here, I'm still getting on with it. And we'll have some greeny, dirty greeny cast coming across here. Now, we've got the white there, so any shading from anything, trees or anything, will be from here, won't it? I'll just put some figurines into it. There you are. Do not overdo it. But just so you can, like, what they do is put some unidentifiable things in, you know, like. You can put stones in or anything. It's no, and if you want, you can make that black. I hope I've helped you along there. Don't tell everybody the colours I've used. Keep them to yourself. Have a gay day. Thanks for looking in.